Hey guys, I wanted to give you a demo of this iTop brad maker that I purchased yesterday at Hobby Lobby. This was on clearance for $11.88, and today I spent some time at Michael's picking up the punches and the brads and all the goodies that go with it. Now what I don't have is the larger head that does the 28 millimeter brads. I did pick up the brads for it, but I don't have the head, so I'm going to go ahead and order the head online. I found a place that has it. But just so you know, I can only demonstrate the two smaller ones, and I'll show you how the 22 millimeter one works. So make sure I'm in camera here. So all I did is I punched out the 22 millimeter brad using this punch, and I've chosen a scrap piece of paper I have of the Tilda paper. I showed the card that I made from this, and this is the piece that I have left over. It's double-sided. So I'm going to show you this side, since I've already made one brad here. And I'll try and show you without the glare. She's cute, isn't she? So I don't know if anybody's ordered the embellishments for this are pretty expensive. So you got to think of fun ways to do this without having to spend too much, right? Because the paper is pretty expensive already. So this is the head of the angel from the paper right there. And I'll show you how I did this. Now notice that you're getting glare on this. The paper isn't shiny. I used a piece of cling film, and it's ordinary cling wrap that you get from the kitchen that I used, and that is just so that you'd have that shininess to the brad. And actually this is a pin. See, you can get different kinds of backings. One of them happens to be a pin. You can also get the button, which is this one. This is a button. It actually has two holes that you could slide, fabric through or whatever. Thread. You could put this thread through here and sew it to something. They have one that's a brad backing, and they even have magnetic ones. So just so you know, those are the types of backings that I have. And I'm going to show you this one, which is the button, and it's the 22 millimeter head that I'm going to put on here. So all you're going to do is to use these two heads facing each other, right? So what I'll do is I'll put the head down in there, and it's kind of hard to show this because of the angle, and I'm going to have to center it, so I can't really, tilt it too much. But what you can do is you can swivel the heads like this. You put the head down, the top button down onto the head, and then you swivel it closed. And right now I'm not squeezing it, see? So there's a gap in there. And then you want to center your piece of paper and the cling film, which I've cut to a smaller size. You want to cut it down because the pieces here that are where you kind of see the outer part, that's going to be inside of that backing piece. So you don't want a lot of extra if you can avoid it. And then you're going to center your piece of paper over the head of the button or the flare that you're making. And I can't do this without looking down at it. I can't look at the camera, so. You'll notice I'm just squeezing it shut just a little bit so it holds it in place, just to make sure that I've got it even all the way around. And I don't, so I want to move it a little bit. And hopefully my cling film doesn't bunch up. You want to keep it smooth as possible, but you don't want to crease it. So I just lift the handle a little bit to move it around to make sure that it's not grabbing it. And then you just squeeze gently. And notice as you squeeze, the paper is getting pulled forward and into the rubber area. So now if I turn it over, you can see here it's kind of coming up, but I can push it down. See how I do that? Just push down that rubber part. So now all of that paper is now curled around that head that's inside. And if I release it gently, it stays down in there, and you can see the head of the brad down in there. So all I'm going to do is then, let me show you this. swivel it back out, and then I'm going to fold in those pieces of paper along with the plastic cling film. And you just want to take your time so that when this all gets mashed in there with the backing, it's nice and straight. So you can see that I folded that down in there. So all I'm going to do is then swivel the head back and place the backing down in here. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to make sure it's centered, and I can see that. It's a little hard to show you, but because if I tilt it, it's going to go off to the side. So what I'm going to do is straighten it back up and make sure that it is in the middle of the circle. And then again, you squeeze gently. See, I can show you now. Squeeze gently, and all you have to do is press the two together, and you hear that click, right? So the button backing is down in there now, see? And all you got to do is pry out the Flair, or the button. And here is how it looks. And you notice that the paper has these little edgings, and that's because you're curling the paper around the object. You're going to have that. I don't think there's any way of avoiding that. Even if you were to use fabric, it would probably be the same way. And I'm going to try this with fabric as well and see how that works. But I just wanted to demo that for you. So now I have two buttons, or two brads, or a pin and a button. And it's using some designer paper that I have a scrap of. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.